From the 4th century onwards, the Saxons increasingly engaged in acts of piracy, conducting coastal raids on the lands of the Western Empire. At the same time, they were settling on multiple places in England, as well as on the continent, notably along the coast of the English Channel and the North Sea. Both coasts of the English Channel became known as the Saxon Shore, but it's during the 5th century that the Saxon migration really started. Folklore tells us that Vortigern, a Briton king, called on Saxon mercenaries to help him fight against Pictish incursions and Scottish pirates. From then on, the influx of the Saxons to Britain increased. The new arrivals pushed the Britons back towards the east and north. The progression of the invaders took quite some time, however, notably thanks to the Britons' major military victory at Baden Hill around 500 AD. The impact of this defeat on the Germanic settlers seems to have been profound, as some of them decided to return to their native lands while others set sail towards Gaul. Even so, progression of the Saxons accelerated during the 6th century, and the lands south of Hadrian's Wall were divided into 7 Saxon kingdoms. Only the western lands remained Britain, called Welsh or foreigners in the Saxon tongue.
Today we are talking about the Saxon battleboard. It is available in the Age of Invasions expansion. Updated battleboards are available either through downloading the FAQ or from the Gripping Beast website in physical format. The dice used by the Saxons are the green dice, also used by Anglo-Danes, Anglo-Saxons, Huns, and the Goths. Some of the special rules for the Saxons are Furor. This replaces the combat pool. It allows you to remove 1 fatigue from your unit, and your opponent receives 3 attack dice in return. The Saxon battleboard promotes a very aggressive playstyle. The battleboard provides you with multiple ways of moving or charging your units several times without gaining fatigue. This is even possible in your opponent's turn. You have at your disposal multiple abilities which either cause automatic hits or bonuses to hitting your enemies and gaining attack dice. Another interesting ability is where you force your opponent to discard Saga dice if his units of warriors or Hearthguard are depleted, which can really destroy your opponent's plans late in the game. The board offers no defensive abilities, and no abilities which provide you with any shooting bonuses. Your only ability to deter shooting is that you inflict fatigue on the shooting unit if they cause casualties, and another ability which allows you to activate to move or charge in your opponent's turn if the unit has been targeted by shooting attack. The equipment options available to you for your Saxon Warband are: your Warlord, Hearthguard, and Warriors have no special equipment and are on foot. Your Levy can either be armed with slings or bows, however this makes no difference in game. An example composition of the Warband would be 1 to 2 points of Hearthguard, 3 to 4 points of Warriors, and 0 to 1 points of Levy with bows or slings. You have 2 legendary units available to you. The first is Hengist and Horsa. These form 2 separate units that count as warlords. Hengist generates 2 Saga dice and Horsa generates 1. They both count as warlords in all respects, and they do not suffer any fatigue at the end of melee. Your second option is Aele. He generates 2 Saga dice, has an armor of 6, and at the beginning of the Saxon's order phase, each enemy unit within short of Aele suffers a fatigue. The Saxon battleboard can be used in all 3 historic universes. In the Age of Vikings, you can play the Germanic peoples, and your Warlord and Hearthguard have the option of being mounted, which makes some of the extra charge abilities very powerful. In Age of Crusades, the pagan raiders off the Baltic coast use the Saxon board. You cannot take any mounted units, but you can take heavy weapons for your Warlord and Hearthguard, and you do not have a restriction on taking units of sailors as mercenaries. These units also become loyal and can use your battleboard abilities. For miniatures, if you're interested in a plastic warband, you can go with Gripping Beast, which have both Hearthguard models and just your standard Dark Ages warriors, which are generic enough to be used in multiple warbands. If you're interested in specific metal miniatures, Gripping Beast also has a metal range. Footsore has a full range of Saxons. Wargames Foundry has an interesting range, and so does Warlord Games. Westwind Productions also has a range of Saxons. I would like to thank Monty and Gary for letting me use pictures of their painted Saxon models.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back for the final installment of this Age of Invasions faction. Focus with the Picts.